see, one of the most important steps for a parent with a child with autism is to stop mourning the child that they thought they had and start embracing the child that they have.
It's interesting because initially the label is difficult because as a parent, you don't know what that means. What does that mean for your child that they're autistic? What does that mean for their future?
So I would say if you have a child that's not speaking, that's a red flag. A child that's not looking at you, a child that's not playing with another child, those are a red flag. A child that becomes obsessed with, say, a toy, a particular object, being obsessed in sitting on this chair only, those are key to look at. I had a kid once who would only eat his cereal if it's lined up in a row.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cards, amazing. Kai, now it's your turn, ready? Give me the girl is drinking milk. Amazing. What is she doing? Drinking milk. Milk, good job. Give me the boy, let's put this one down, ready? Quiet hands. The girl is brushing her hair. You got it. Fantastic. What is the girl doing?
Brushing hair.
Brushing hair. Awesome. Like this. Show me. Yep, you brush.
Every child is affected differently. Some people are affected with all of the different disabilities and some kids might have 1 or 2 of them. So you have to assess the child accordingly and then tailor the education for each specific child. Every human being on this planet is as important as the next one. So why do we cast these aside? They need more help. We're in the position to do it. We should do it. It should be, in the state of Ireland, it's said that if you're born into the state of Ireland that you're entitled to a free education. Why can't the child be entitled to a free, appropriate education to your specific needs? Yes, it's more expensive on the short term. On the long term, the state would save a fortune, because if you give these children the appropriate intervention they need at the right stage of their life, they won't be as dependent on the state when they get older, as an adolescent or a young adult, in residential care or respite, which costs an absolute fortune. They can be taught the skills they need to survive in our society a lot of the time. Going back 20 years ago when we hadn't got the intelligence that we have now, I understand. But now that we do understand and we have got the intelligence, it's an absolute crime that the government and the Board of Education and the Board of Health don't recognise this and give these children a fighting chance.
Isabella was diagnosed, she met all her milestones, but around 2 years old, we realized that she didn't have any words. And we talked to our pediatrician about the fact that she was developing normally, but didn't have language. And our pediatrician suggested that maybe because she was bilingual, maybe she was confused as to which language she should be using, which to me just analytically didn't make sense, because if a person is listening to 2 languages, you would think they would say something in either language. And she wasn't saying anything, not mom, not dad, nothing. And so we had to confront the fact that maybe something was wrong. And so we started to take her to specialists, and it took about three visits, 3 observations, 3 evaluations to really have to understand that she was autistic. And the first time that we heard it, they're like, no, something must be wrong, because she didn't seem that anything was wrong with her, with the exception of language. So we just kept going to different doctors to see whether the diagnosis would be different. But by the 3rd time, we knew that we had to accept what that meant.
He's loving it. Look, they love the cameras. All the children love the camera equipment.
That's what I realized.
Abdul, yes, we went to somewhere and the boy just couldn't. It was just
cheese!
Lots of cheese! Right now my dream for Gavin is to see him going to a regular high school. I want to see him doing the exam, pass his exam, go to high school, go to college. That's my dream. So I would love to see if the government can intervene and have like a school where we have integration where they would sit with normal kids and,
Well, they will always live with us. Even as we get older and become old people, they will always be with us in our eyes. They will never be leaving the home. This is their home. This is their home. We see it that we live here with them. Everything is about them.
We work towards, along with school, making them as independent as possible, so they can do as many things as they can, like Lucas and I'll drink out of an open top cup. Which at 11 you think, well, he should have been doing that years ago, but that's took like all them years to get him to drink out of an open top cup, but he's doing it now and kind of feeding themselves. We'd love to have them toilet trained, won't we, for their own sake, but...
The biggest thing that we would love to hear is basic language.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for us is to hear those words, Dad. That is massive to us. You know, parents take that for granted, you know, but for us to hear just those words, Dad, would be huge to us. It would be absolutely massive. If we could get the boys to kind of say Dad, or if they tell us they're in pain, because when they are poorly and they're in pain, a lot of it is guesswork all the time to try and isolate where the pain is and see what kind of pain it is.
What's good to eat? What's good to eat? Oh, good. Is that fun?
So Amy, as a parent, is this how what normally happens when you take him to the barbers?
Yes, yeah.
How often does he come here?
He was here 4 or 5 weeks ago. Yeah.
And what is it he doesn't like? Do you know? Does he tell you?
It's the years, it's different people, it's different situations. He's petrified of a haircut. Doesn't like it at all.
Sit with Mommy. Sit with Mommy.
Yeah. Yes, and then we see Nana. No!
Your brother do one, you do one. Yeah? Watch now, look. Watch now, look. Ready? See? See? Look. Your brother actually don't hurt. Like I say, obviously the first thing that ever started obviously was a year ago with little boy Mason. He came into my shop just on a day-to-day basis, and his parents obviously had heard that I was obviously good working with kids. Obviously I knew, obviously when they said he had autism, obviously I knew I had to approach it in a different manner.
And did you know anything about autism though?
No, nothing. Like I say, I had one, it was one boy who came previously, this boy Ethan, and he used to have like cups around his ears, and I taught him how to overcome that fear. So again, I had a brief idea of how to go about it. But obviously I knew I had to spend months with Mason, obviously due to his sensory issues. 7, 8, 9, 10. Good boy. Well done. Good boy.
Good boy, Jacob.
So many services are tied to the label. And I do a lot of public speaking about autism, and I know a lot of parents who have autistic children but are not yet ready to say that they're autistic.
And what do you think that is?
I think there's shame. I think there is embarrassment. I think for me, there's guilt. There was guilt. You start to think, well, did I do something to produce this autism? And in my family, we are a very special family because there's 3 daughters, and we have 5 children amongst the 3 of us. 4 of them are autistic. So there seems that there's a genetic component of it, but because there's so much mystery surrounding autism, no one really knows what causes it, where did it come from. There's so much discussion about whether the vaccines cause it, whether the vaccines don't cause it. But I've come to a point in my life where it doesn't really matter what caused it. What matters is that it's here.
A lot of them love the bar now, and they're fascinated by its eyes. Especially the autistic children, that's what they say. Its eyes. I want to see its eyes.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because as you say, they don't like to have direct contact. So
that's right, yeah.
That's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think maybe as well it could be a case of the animal, it's not judging in any way, or it's not, you know, it's easy for them, because what I've noticed with autistic children, they tend to they can associate more with younger kids or kids in the same situation rather than a child their age that's not autistic, so to speak. Especially with my lad, that's the same effect with him. He can bond with younger kids or autistic children himself, but he won't bond with anyone else.
The biggest thing about being a special needs parent is that you're always waiting for that glimmer of hope, that they're in there, that you're connecting with them, that they understand you, that they know how much you love them, even if they can't really communicate with you and you're trying desperately to communicate with them. So those are the breakthroughs that I live for.
Well, the parents, number one, have to stay positive. You know, the parents are the people that get things done. That's the way it's happened in the past. That's what's working. So you have to look at what works and try to drive that forward and hope to kind of drag people along with you along the way. So, in my opinion, I think we have to keep on fighting for what they need, try to put in place what we can ourselves, fundraise to get the money to do it if that's what we need to do, and just be the voices for those people that have none.